What's good, fam? Welcome to Subs Over Dubs Anime Review. Today we're going to be talking about Tower of God with the main man, the myth, the legend, Rebel Once reference, Jay.
What's going on, man? Appreciate y'all inviting me on.
Of course. As you know, I go by Vision. And today we're going to be looking at Tower of God Anime Review. We'll be looking at the intro, the outro, and of course, subs or dubs. So before we get into the introductions of the anime, let's talk about you, Jay. What is the people might want to know and curious in your background? What's kind of the first animes you come in contact with when you were younger?
Oof. First one, probably old faithful for me was Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
That mainstream of
Toonami. Yeah. Shout out to Tom again.
Got me on, and so that was probably my first touch on anime. Obviously Pokemon, things like that, that people don't really focus on too much. But
not too many people understand that Pokemon's actually an anime.
Yeah.
Pocket Monster.
I don't think I really dove in until
recently.
Yeah.
What would you say? Last
Vision
two?
Came in was like
last 2 years, 3 years?
Last 2.5 years, probably. I would say.
What was the first one that kind of set the domino effect?
Man, what did you put me on? Because you were the first one to really put me on.
Man, I gave you a list.
You gave me a list. I tell you, I definitely ignored the list for a long time.
I gave you the Bible, man. It took you a long Hunter x Hunter, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just crush World Trigger. I know Tower of God was part of it.
Yep. Tower of God was. I would probably say, actually, it was Demon Slayer was the first one.
Okay.
When it first came out.
First season?
One.
Okay.
And then I started diving into
the
Tower
list.
Of God. Dove into Hunter x Hunter. Darwin's Game.
Okay.
Then I finally committed because you know me, I'm big on like if it's over, a couple hundred episodes,
I'm out.
Yeah, Hunter x Hunter was the first one where I dove in and I was like, all right,
it was worth the journey.
Worth the journey. Yeah.
I try to tell you, man.
Yeah. And then you got obviously Naruto. So
yeah. Okay. So I know the people may want to know. They're gonna find out later on, but let's go ahead and stand on it. You are the dub guy.
I am the dub guy. Yes.
So there's no halfway. You're standing on it.
No. I will say that if I have to watch it, which a lot of these animes, that I've been diving into, I do have to watch it in Japanese, or in sub. I do not hate it. Definitely.
It's just not your preference. Okay.
Yeah,
hey.
Definitely prefer dub. Do not hate sub by any means. I will watch it, and if it's really good, I'm in it. I will say that. So
hey, I think that's a journey for a lot of people because even myself, I started off watching dub through Toonami, so that's kind of like the gateway. And then as you watch it more and more, not everyone, but most people tend to fall into the sub because not only one, most people find it better, but two, like the situation you're finding yourself in, not everything's dubbed. Not everything has the English version available. Or if it is available, like one that comes to mind, Chainsaw Man. I think it's like 2 or 3 episodes behind currently slotted where the sub version's at. So some people don't want to wait, and they're like, fuck it, I'll watch
I'm already
it.
invested.
I'll watch it in Japanese. I don't want to be behind, especially when you got us talking about it. You don't want to be left out and be like, I'm hearing it, it's over.
Yeah, or get put on that cliffhanger where like, man,
I gotta know.
Episode.
I gotta know.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's what's up. Have you, off the top of your mind, I know you just mentioned it. What's the first sub anime you watched?
The first sub?
Yes. Whether by accident or on purpose.
No, it was probably Hunter x Hunter.
Hunter x Hunter?
Yeah. And
Why?
I don't know why. I think I just started it in sub.
And just finished it?
And just finished it in
I was going to
sub.
say, I think it's dubbed all the way through, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. If anything, the last season might be in sub. But I'm pretty sure it's all in.
Majority. Okay. The last question we'll leave out, go with for you is...
You know what? It's actually Death Parade. I watched that in sub.
Okay.
Because at the time, I wasn't watching it on Hulu. I think I was watching it on Funimation, and they only had it in sub at the time. I watched it in dub, but rewatched it in dub, and definitely preferred it in dub. But
okay,
yeah, I think that's the first one I watched.
So people might want to know again a little bit more about yourself. when it comes to the anime, let's hear your top 3. It doesn't have to be in order. Just give us like a top 3.
Oof, top 3. Demon Slayer is definitely in there.
Okay.
Hunter x Hunter is definitely in there.
Okay.
Man, it have to be, just for as fresh as I am into it, it'd have to be Naruto.
Okay.
I just finished World Trigger, and
Some slight consideration.
Yeah, it's there.
So
I would probably put it in my top 5.
well, I mean, if you got room for a top 5, I didn't know how many you had on your list, so we'll give you a top 5 if you want to throw that in there.
That one would be there.
Okay.
And then Attack on Titan. Matter of fact, I would put Attack on Titan over. What I have in mind for me over Naruto, just because I really like the storyline.
Okay. Hey, those are like. See, the thing is, a lot of people like myself. I grew up in Naruto, so you're invested. So that's why I find a lot of people who defend One Piece, even myself. I look at Naruto. It is a top 5 anime, but if someone was to say it's not because of these reasons, they're a lot of times they're accurate, because when you have so much time, think about this. There's people who watch anime week to week. Naruto, you watch Naruto all the way through. That's a lot of episodes, right?
It was a lot.
So think about all that time invested in all those episodes, and for someone to argue that, hey, this X anime isn't that good, but you got to defend it because you yourself put so much time into it. It's like, nah, man, it's one of the best. But you naturally feel the need to defend it because you invested so much time. And I think that's what a lot of people do with One Piece, and they don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Because it's not the longest ongoing anime. That's another one called Conan. It's a whole nother discussion, but it's up there. It's probably like top 5 in the most episodes of the anime. But without further ado, let's get into Tower of God. So, I mean, great series. I think I told everyone when I was watching, it's like, look, y'all gotta watch this.
Yeah.
It's clutch. It's new. It's different, and it's nice. So starting off with the intro, like, what was your vibes to the intro? I know you watched dubbed and you just watched the sub version, and we talked about how the English and Japanese version have their own version of the intro song. How do you feel? Like, what was the vibes?
Yeah, I think that was interesting to me. I know you had mentioned it a while back, and so when I finally jumped into sub, I noticed it, and then I rewatched it in dub. Just kind of as a refresher, and I was like, man, there's very few animes that do that, where they change it for each version that you get for sub versus dub.
It's seldomly done. Like, that's the only one that there's probably been done before for sure, and someone can let me know in the comments if you have one on top of your mind. But very few and far between where you have the different versions of anime and they have corresponding language to intro, versions. And I found that very interesting, and didn't sound bad either way. I was used to the Japanese, but when I heard it in dubbed, I was like, okay, this is what they're saying, but it still goes,
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, the wordplay is a little different, but all kind of
it falls in, like it works. So that was pretty clutch. So let's get into the anime itself. So we got a few characters were introduced in the beginning. You have Bomb, Rachel, the headmaster, Yuri, our first waifu that pops up on the scene. Who's like in just first thoughts, first taste of all the characters? Who's your favorite so far, just visually, I guess, because you don't know too much about the characters
So
yet.
I think in sub it's what Head On. I don't think they say it in dub, which I was kind of paying attention to that. I think they just call him the caretaker.
Yeah.
He's probably something about him.
He's just
he's
like,
low
low key in the back way. He's got some type of power. He's behind the scenes. He's grandmaster and things.
Calm when he speaks.
You listen.
Yes, we are.
You locked in. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I definitely get that. Also, 2 other characters that are introduced that I didn't mention. They didn't say this by name, so I won't say it yet. But you have the crocodile.
The next episode.
Yeah. They have the crocodile guy, and obviously our blue hair looking assassin. He already took care of one guy in the first scene, so he looks like he's dangerous. But just off first interactions, I'll probably have to go with the Head On as well. Like you mentioned, calm, collected. You see, he's got some type of power. Like, he's smiling, smirking half the time. Like, he's leading the play. He's pulling the strings. So one thing I will say, and we can kind of segue into this, is sub or dub, I like his voice actor both ways. They fit the character, in my opinion, perfectly. It sounds like you hear the voice, you see the character, that's the character.
Yeah, I will say it on the drive. I was thinking about this, that in sub I prefer him.
Okay.
I think there's just something about that majestic feel that they're going for in the anime, it gets captured in sub more so than in dub. But I like the voice either way, so I'm not mad at that. And then you see some of his power. They give you little teasers where like that, what is it, the steel eel that they're facing in there. He just done.
We don't know what he's doing. He just obliterated.
Yeah.
Get out of here. You ain't take care of business. Get out of my face. We're done. But yeah, sub versus dub. Most animes, as you guys know, I heavy on sub for a lot of reasons. So far, episode 1, this is my first go through watching the anime and dub, so I couldn't lean one way or the other. For the most part, dub sounded well rounded. The characters sounded like they belonged. Nothing that was to a point where I just got turned off by the voice actors. So I couldn't lean one way or another. I would say, if you're walking into anime, I would prefer sub, but if someone said dub, this is kind of like an even tie so far. The both, wow, I'm tripping. Both voice actors on both sides portray the characters fairly well, and they fit. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say, I know when we've talked, your knock is that sometimes they sound a little too kiddie.
Yeah.
I think for the age group that they're kind of playing them in, they're like teenagers. They're not.
I think they might be younger than that. I think Bam's a preteen, I think. I don't know his age.
So I think that's why it fits a little more maybe so, where you're not mad at it. I don't have a problem with the dub.
Yeah,
obviously, I'm on it, so I'm never going to have a problem with the dub for the most part, depending on the
show
anime that we're watching. So yeah, I think it's pretty streamlined. It's good. I like it. I prefer them to the sub outside of like I said, the caretaker head on. I like him more so in sub.
Yeah.
And then once they start getting into some new characters later on in the episode, or next coming episodes, then
you'll probably
that's where you'll probably see, man, I prefer this versus that.
Oh, 100%. Like we just recently me and Rebel did a review of Chainsaw Man episode 1 to 2. One was similar to this, about even. It can go either way. I prefer sub like I do here, but dub was fine. Like if you watching dub, no problem. Episode 2, drop off, terrible. You got characters in there. It's like, man, this is not it. So again, to each his own. If you get into anime and you dub is all you can do, by all means. But if you want the sauce, if you want to work on your Sharingan, you want to level up, got to take that sub route. He's a dubber, but if he has to, he'll take that journey into sub.
Yes, I'm not opposed to diving in and taking a little taste of what sub has to offer.
So another thing, you're fairly new to anime in general. So I'll ask you, do you kind of notice this? This is things I pick up on. The background music. When it comes to other anime shows, does any of them have any music that stand out to you that you can just remember off the top of your head? The scenes and
background. Probably the background music I like the most was in Attack on Titan. Probably the background music that I like the most was, I would say, Attack on Titan.
Yep.
That had great background music, great intro music, and then I like how they flipped it at the end with the closing credits as well. So like that had really great music. What else during action scenes?
It's all good if you can't remember. I'm just curious because a lot of people who watch anime don't really pick up on like the background music. The intros and outros for sure. But like just the subtle change in tones, a lot of them.
Yeah, I really don't. But the ones that I do, just kind of they stand out like all the way through. So it's like put together masterfully, like from start to finish, how they put it all together, not just animation, but like the credits. That's why Attack on Titan stands.
This comes to mind.
Same way. In certain scenes, the way it flows
comes together. No, you're 100%.
What is it? It's actually anime with music. Tact OP Destiny. I don't know if you've seen it.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Tact OP Destiny, which I've started a whole different one, but that
had some memorable music. Well, I mean, if it's kind of music theme like you made it sound, that would probably be a focus. It is
definitely music theme, sci-fi, what have you. But that has really good ones, but it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So, and then it pays homage to like symphonies, things like that.
Yeah.
So
Okay. I only bring that up because I think some people, everyone's gonna like appreciate it differently. Tower of God has some great soundtracks in the background. It's not necessarily the best, but it's definitely above average compared to other animes. So like you mentioned, Attack on Titan, great soundtracks. You hear moments. I mean, the first intro is like embedded in people's heads. Da 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 da. Like you hear that, it's time.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And some others that come to mind for
you
background
almost
music.
stay tuned more to like hearing that first intro, like you're.
Oh, you locked in.
And then you're like, all right. Well, if you're watching it in dub anyway.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Oh yeah, because you could just look. You see this
The
problem with
beauty of
dub.
like an ear hustle. You know?
Yeah, exactly. You could just be like, oh man, that's crazy. There's dialogue. I don't need to see this. I only need to hear it. But in general, like that sets the tone. So some that come to mind. There's a lot of ones in Naruto, but I grew up with that, so that's why it has that effect. As you mentioned, Attack on Titan. Another one that not many people can think about, and I don't think you've seen it yet, is Bleach. When you come around to watch it, Bleach has some, like, for its time, this anime started in the early 2000s, I want to say. It had some of the best background music, not only because it sounded good, but cultural difference. It's probably the most, in anime in general, probably one of the most Latin-based or Hispanic-based, like, some of the background. They have a whole arc that has a lot of Hispanic themes to it. And it probably has the first Hispanic character, but we're getting off track and we're going to whole nother realms of anime. Yeah. I just say all this and ask you these questions because Tower of God has a lot of good background music that we'll see like in the future episodes. But even in this first episode, they played like 3 tracks that kind of get played throughout the series that kind of they have a good theme to what they're trying to portray. So that suspense, you hear the violin. I can't make the sound effect with my mouth paused, but if you go back and watch episode 1, they play it when I believe he's in the water, when it's getting suspenseful, and it paints the picture beautifully. And a lot of times you don't really notice because you're so drawn into the picture, but it's that combination of the art, the what's happening, the suspense, and then the music just all pulls all factors together.
Yeah, I would say I probably didn't pay attention too much to the background music or catch it as it was, but I mean, you're locked in, and then
he just trying to on the scene.
Especially in that scene, right? Because he's just like, Steel Eil's just coming at him.
Yeah.
And he's like,
I gotta eat this.
I'm not wavering. No.
I got bigger goals. I got worse fears than death right now. But yeah, so background music is amazing. And I think as you watch more and more anime, you'll see some that don't have it, and you'll appreciate the ones that do have. So some of the ones you named are some of the better animes when it comes to background music in general, or just themes. So again, as you continue your journey of watching different anime, you'll start to pick up on these small details and appreciate them more potentially. Moving on, so we got the world. We got introduced to some of the characters and the tower, right? Mm-hmm. Apparently, the tower, you make it to the top, you get, I guess,
granted a wish.
Granted a wish. Anything you want, it sounds like, from, if I'm not mistaken, in the interlude from Rachel. So
yeah, there hasn't been any stipulations outside. You need to get through all levels.
Yeah. So we got another. Did you watch Sword Art Online?
I've not seen Sword Art.
But you heard it. So it's a similar premise, except for you don't necessarily get a wish, but tower levels. You have to go traverse all the levels and get to the top. So I'm interested to see, how this plays out going forward. But I love the world.
Like God of High School. God of High School. It's kind of similar to that.
They have a tower?
They don't have a tower, but you have to go through these levels or these opponents in that one, and then you get that wish granted.
Oh, you're right. When you reach the pinnacle. Yeah. Okay, it's been a while. I know these came out back to back, but yeah, you're right. But yeah, the world itself seems very potentially dope. We've seen a little bit of it. We don't know where he came from because it looks like he's just in a cave, gets teleported to a random.
To be fair, he doesn't know where he came from either. He just all he remembers is
he's just in this.
I'm in this cave trying to break out. The first face I see is Rachel,
and that's all he knows. So yeah, it's interesting to see where they're gonna take this. He's apparently an irregular. Whatever that means. Obviously, it's not regular, so we know that by our English dictionary. But what does that mean necessarily? What kind of powers he has? He gets a sword, and he's able to tap into the powers, but the girl Yuri was not. So there's a lot of things, a lot of angles we're looking at, and a lot of questions we have that we probably won't find out till later in the episodes. But
and I don't know if she can't summon. I know the wish can't, or what she asked for wasn't granted. Because they had that little dialogue with her where she was like, "Oh, you must only like men,"
and she said,
"Yeah,
like,
yeah." She's like, "Every time I ask you for something, you don't ever grant my wishes."
Yeah.
So it might just be.
It's basically it's because she's asking to grant her power, but she never responds like you mentioned. So that's what it is, and it looks like you said, only answer the guys.
You
so
gotta be a handsome, gentleman.
Hey,
that's just not you.
Have you not of the male race? She ain't trying to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't getting none of this power. But yeah, so far, solid episode all around. If I had to give it a grade for an introductory anime, I give it a strong 7.5, 7. It's not the best. But it's a solid.
I'm teetering between 6 and 7.
Yeah,
because it does start out a little slow.
Yeah.
They don't give you a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the first, really not until he actually starts that test does it really now
what kind of show we're looking at. Yeah, 100%.
And gives great job of leaving you on, you're going to want to watch this next.
Oh, yeah, you got to get the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So you got the little scene. It's like a 3-way Mexican standoff, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I guess a 4-way. So the other guys are standing there, but he's not even saying anything.
He's
so
not saying nothing.
We don't know what his deal is, but we got a little 3-way going on. So
Blob that looks just there like a rock.
My boy Bam got dropped in solo into Warzone as a battle royale. Everyone's just getting worked left and right from different angles. So, we'll see how gritty and gore this gets. But like you mentioned, it's got a lot of promise. 5 being average. Again, I'll give it a 7. You're teetering like the 6,
6.5,
6 to 7. Okay, so just on average, just from intro to animation isn't like top notch, but it's acceptable. It's a little bit different, so I guess that's what's appealing. But
I like it.
Exactly. That's what makes it appealing, because it's not terrible, but it's not like overly. I guess we can say overly budget. So they did it, something like Demon Slayer Season 2. Like that was the animation is that.
Yeah, it's definitely.
That's movie quality versus what we're looking at here. Yeah. It's solid for anime. It's different, but I think that's what makes it appealing. It's not different because it's bad. So
I will say, refreshing and watching it again, the foreshadowing, not to get into it too much, but the foreshadowing in the first episode, if you really pay attention,
there's a lot of hidden details.
There's a lot of hidden in there.
So listen, guys, if you're watching this review and you haven't tuned into the anime yet, you got spoiled anyways, but you get to look at those little foreshadowing details that Jay's over here talking about. So definitely keep your eyes open. Don't be a dub watcher and look away, because these things visually you will see a few details like he's mentioned that if you.
I probably caught it more in sub than I did in dub.
Yeah, because you're forced to look at the screen.
I was just I have to watch it.
You literally have to watch it.
Let's focus in.
There's no side text message. So, I guess that's it for me as far as things that I wanted to talk about and I had on my mind. Anything last thoughts you have that come to mind when it comes to the show?
No. Like I said, great show. Under the radar, I would say this.
You think so?
Tower God?
I would say people who watch anime.
Maybe the people in our group that we talk to, or guys that we kind of hoop with or whatever that also watch anime, haven't seen it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I would agree with they probably.
So
but I wouldn't. At the same token, I wouldn't necessarily deem them as I'm not gonna say you got to be an anime fanatic, but they don't watch it as much as I would say I do, and what you're kind of going into, because you've ran through a lot of anime as of late, and you're slowly seeing okay, the storytelling, these shows are pretty dope. This ain't cartoon, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they think of that either, but I don't think they're watching it at the same level, not necessarily level, but taking in as that many anime as we are. Because Crunchyroll pushed Tower of God when it came out a lot. Now, so that's all I'm saying. The average, if you're an average anime watcher and you're literally watching multiple shows, let's just say 2 or more, you probably pick this up. If you're just watching, you know, a couple shows, One Piece, My Hero, that type of thing, maybe goes missed. But this was pushed heavily on Crunchyroll. But that's the gift and the curse. It was only available on Crunchyroll. So if you have your Funimation people, your Hulu people, your Netflix people, they're not gonna get the opportunity to watch it. I think now Netflix has it actually though, if I'm not mistaken. It was on HBO Max for a while.
Even
as well.
better for you starting out. So
Hey, there no excuses to watch it in subbed.
Yeah. Dub all day for me. I'm not watching it in sub unless I have to. So I couldn't tell you which one. Okay. Watch it. Period.
Yeah.
That's what you
Listen,
want.
at the end of the day, watch the show, guys. You won't be disappointed. Trust me. There's a lot of twists and turns at this anime show. It's a great story. By the time we're done with this series, I think we'll be close to season 2 being it's already been announced, but given a date. So that way, you know, if you guys are watching this,
2023, right?
Mm-hmm. So it was announced. So we'll get the dates. More than likely, it'll probably be like a third quarter drop. But hey, we'll see. We got a lot of information. A lot of animes to look forward to next year in general. But hey guys, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll look forward to us breaking down Tower of God all the way through from an anime only perspective. So we'll be watching it episode to episode, giving you guys the recaps of how we felt about the episode, the sub versus dub narratives, and also so this isn't like a manga. For you guys who don't know, this is a webtoon, so it's essentially a comic that it pulls its source from to make the material for the anime. So we don't. I'll give an admission. I lied just now. Typically, I don't read manga or do anything like that, but this is the only show that when I watched it back in 2020, I think, I wanted to know so bad I started looking at those comics.
So yeah,
I read ahead.
I'm telling you, once you start getting into it, I would.
You read it too?
You're gonna finish it. No, I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
The anime in general. Once you get into it, you're gonna. Push through it. I wouldn't be surprised because it is only one season. I wouldn't be surprised you finished it in a day or two.
Oh, 100%.
Just
go. Is that how long it took you?
Go. It took me about 2 days, and only because, well, you know me, I'm late at night into the morning, and then I'm passed out. So, but yeah, I mean, it only took me
2 days. But if we're
going in real time,
24 hours within 20. Yeah,
within 24 hours.
He's not lying. It's that good, guys. So look forward to us continuing this series and knocking out Tower of God, and you know, who knows, man, maybe we'll get in some other anime down the road. But again, that'll be it for this episode. Let us know in the comments, is it subs or is it dubs? My name is Vision, here with my man Jay. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.